turn now to the state of the race. Obviously incredibly close nationally and in key battleground states. You told me the last time we were together on this program in July that Vice President Harris, who wasn't, of course, at the top of the ticket at the time, that you believed she could win the election overwhelmingly. Given how close this race is, Congressman, do you still believe, realistically, that Kamala Harris can win this race overwhelmingly?
I do. By the standards of today, I think she can win overwhelmingly. Given how divided the country is, overwhelming may be winning by 100,000 votes or 80,000 votes in these key battleground states. I think that's within her capacity to do. And I made that point because I was at the time urging that the torch be passed to her, and it was. And I think the effect has been dramatic. Young people who were disengaged are now engaged, interested, active, volunteering. So I think we are well poised to win this thing. But it is still scary close, and I can't remember a time in history.
All right. So it says it's still scary close, but overwhelmingly. There's this article on Forbes.com, as a matter of fact, about Trump is ahead in some crucial. I think it's a swing state that would determine. But I also like what he said about there's something like there's a vibe to what he's saying. He's not too sure of the environment. This environment is very unpredictable, so there's only so much we can look at the polls. By the way, we're talking about this presidential race that's coming to.
How much of trust can we express? Can we give to anything coming from Forbes? Well,
let's consider it. Let's consider it, right?
Yeah, we will.
I'm just going to read. I'm just going to read.
We will, just because the antecedent of Forbes itself does not give complete integrity to some of the things they do.
No. So to be clear, the person that was speaking wasn't Forbes yet. That's another person entirely. I'm going to read this from Forbes right now. This is the key facts. Most reputable polls over the past month show Trump ahead in Georgia, including a Quinnipiac, is that how to pronounce that? University poll that found him by 6 points over Vice President Kamala, and a Cook Political Report survey that shows him up by 2 points. I don't know what 2 points with respect to what. Another one says Trump is favored to win Georgia by 1.3 points in 538 poll tracker and by 1.5 points in Real Clear Politics poll tracker. Then another point here says until Biden's 2020 win in Georgia by just under 12,000 votes, the state hadn't voted for a Republican presidential candidate since 1992. But Georgia has moved to swing state status over the past decade as Democrats have improved their margins in general state elections. I'm sure you want to hear that, but let me hear your thoughts so far, because we're like a few weeks away from this. We're like 2-3 weeks away.
That's it. Now, the deal for me is this.
Yes.
At this point, I want to wait for that verdict from the American people. And this is not just a referendum on the character and the excesses, all the stuff that Donald Trump has gained notoriety for. This is not just, it is also a referendum on the reasoning, sense of judgment of the average American. For example, if somebody carries so much baggage, there is so much burden of misconduct and all that you can think of about Donald Trump. If Americans will still vote him in, let us wait for what the elections will tell us by way of results. See, there are other polls out there too, pointing to the fact that Democrats would win the state of Georgia by landslide. So
where are they collecting their samples from?
This is the thing. So this is why I said the other day that I'd rather go with what Anderson Cooper of CNN, what he said, that we won't put aside for now whatever science is driving the pollsters, whatever they are saying, because consistently you will give it to the Democratic Party that they have always won majority votes right from time. The problem is in the electoral college permutation.
Are you trying to expire the electoral formula?
Well, there is nothing to explain there that, other than the fact that
I said expire it. Are you trying to, because there's a comment here?
Yeah, it's due for expiration. Okay. And it is due, it's something that should be jettisoned altogether. I mean, you remember the premise to, the background to read. It's something that came up during the slavery period.
So sorry to interject you. Chinye in the chat said this whole electoral college system needs to be revisited and restructured.
If I would add to what to Chinye's opinion that it should be discarded altogether. That is the major snag on America's democracy. You say America is the best example of the longest surviving modern democracy. Yes, but there is this snag about it that every vote ought to count. Some privileged votes, some some class of votes, which is the special consideration. We're talking of special consideration. So you are really enthroning something that is similar to what you have in Nigeria. Nigeria discarded electoral college, which was provided for in the 1979 Constitution of the Nigerian Second Republic.
Oh, they managed to get rid of that one.
Yes, remember it was part of the Nigerian 1979 Constitution, but that was destroyed altogether, and I don't think it will come back to life in Nigeria. So in that, if you can point to a place like Nigeria, or that there is something we looked at was inadequate, was not proper, and was going to be some blight on our system, and we could drop it in our land of birth, Nigeria. This, my adopted country, this my country, my country of that I own now, that owns me now. Why should anything be alluring about a slave period heritage, a slave period legacy? You need to, everybody should dedicate more time to studying the beginning, the origin of this this thing they call electoral college. It is not democratic, and I make bold to say that it's not democratic. It actually, but for electoral college, who would ever remember Donald Trump in the scheme of things? He was beaten by over 3 million votes by Hillary Clinton by way of majority votes. And don't forget, but for the electoral college controversy, he would not even be doubting the fact that he was trounced and roundly beaten before he decided to embrace the option of a coup, a disgraceful thing for anybody to do. In anywhere in the world, talk less of a developed nation like America, #1 country in the world for that matter. So what we're saying is that, but for that fancy, the fantasy and the fancy of electoral college, Donald Trump should not even be thinking, because I believe that by way of a majority vote, Kamala Harris would make a means of this guy. She's going to rubbish him. And mark it down. That's my prediction.
All right. So in terms of waiting, right? I'm the one that's waiting here. I don't know about you waiting. I think you've concluded it, but me, I'm waiting.
Yeah, in my mind already. And it's not going to devastate me. Like I said, it's just going to be a referendum on the character of the average American, because I run into people, even, excuse me, it's so difficult to find somebody that will come out outrightly for you to say this is the person I am rooting for. It's so difficult. I see very nice looking people who ordinarily would say they are good Christians that find it so hard to reject Donald Trump's bigotry. That finds it so hard.
Quick question: did he back out of a Prime TV primetime interview with CBS?
Oh yeah, not just a prime time, 60 minutes.
60 minutes, yeah, prime time, 60 minutes. Yeah, sorry.
You know, Donald Trump will back out of anything that is not going to manipulate. If he's not coming there to be asked protocol questions, people, he can fool around like Sean Hannity, or what do they call him? All those class of jesters who call themselves journalists, who are not journalists really. They are just they are just what's it called? Media influencers. Not even social media influencers. I removed the social from the media. So they belong to this drive-by media group, and they influence things for them. They tell all lies. Can you imagine that I ran into a good friend? It was the last Friday, and he put it in my face that, oh, the government is manipulating the weather. How do you manipulate weather? Just because these people came out with the lie, and
because you can manifest the weather that you want, I guess.
How? When it's not a situation that you have in a place like what do you call this Middle East place, Dubai, where they can just induce rain and all that. You know, in this case, they are blaming the hurricane thing on on them. And look at the absurd thing that Donald Trump is hinting on lately, talking of the possibility that it probably was the Democratic Party leadership or somebody. They will not pinpoint anybody that was behind the attempt, the assassination attempt on him. Who thinks like that?
So Chinye again says, she said, Electoral College, this election is making me nervous for Kamala. Or back home when they use Rainmakers in the village. You know, recently I was told that they can actually make it rain.
Well, let me also. I have also. You see, I've been a journalist for a long time, and I've witnessed all kinds of situations with the so-called rainmakers in Nigeria. For example, they can
hold rain. They can hold rain. They can't make it.
I do not know about that. These things are not black and white. You cannot make that categorical declaration. Possible, it may not be possible. I do not have the proof. And
but that's the point. You're not supposed to have a proof. You're not supposed to have a proof that some people can hold rain. There are people that pay people money because they have a party going on, and they'll pay people money to hold the rain.
The same mentality that you're expressing there. How many parties can they destroy now in Nigeria that people go? I mean, they no longer use the canopies or atibaba, the sheds.
We still don't want rain because of our makeup and stuff. But hold on, Chief.
What I'm saying is that you sit in an event center. How much rain will destroy that party? I've also heard that they can manipulate the elements to destroy sound system and all that. It remains something in the realm of conjecture.
So even here, right? I've heard that you can manipulate that it should rain based off of some other activities going on. I mean, I'm talking scientifically now, but there's more to that.
Scientifically, I have told you it. I mean, they can induce it in places like Dubai. It means that if it can be done in Dubai, it can be done here scientifically. I know the methodology behind that. For example, how come Israel is one of the biggest agricultural destinations in the world, in spite of it being a barren land? It's as barren as barrenness could be. It's as dry as what you find in Sahara Desert or any arid portion of the world. But they are so good at, working scientifically to make sure there is abundance of food, not just for themselves and they export.
Right. So it's not a one-way thing.
That is not in doubt. But the one I reject is the attempt at embracing voodoo reasoning.
Okay. So, Chief, we'll talk about this another day because of time. You know, we're on
And that
time.
will surprise you that this traditional chief does not believe in voodoo. Yes, because these are the things that have held our country Nigeria down. These are things that have held Africa down. You tell me you can.
Sorry to
No,
interject you.
please wait.
Sorry.
You tell me you can manipulate all these things. I want to see it in the quantum of cell phones you make to remotely call people. I want to see the physical proof. That is me.
We'll have that conversation another day. I have another point here that I wanted to put into this Trump story because we're also on a time crunch. So CNN is reporting that they've been editing words out of Kamala Harris ads. To her videos to make ads. For example, they edited the word estate out for the rich Americans. And then there's the reports here that the ad significantly alters Harris minis. So they're doing a lot of manipulation, and I'm saying that with regards to what Chinye posted here earlier on. Electoral College is making her nervous. Bless you, sir. So here's the point I'm trying to make here, right? The game at this point is Electoral College. And so the last question I have for you, if you can give us briefly, because we kind of run out of time. What does she need to do to win this game as the game is right now?
Okay, what to do is door to door, go for that drive for voters. Make sure that everybody turns out. Whoever needs to be there, because what is at stake here is more than anybody can even imagine. You don't want to have a dictator, happening on the political stage in America. If you have it the fortress that we had was not palatable, and they make it look like, oh, those were the best years in America. It's all lies. Are you going to talk of the number of people in cold rooms, the dead bodies, what's it called, the pandemic that ran haywire, and all other things that this guy lost his focus on while in office, and he was going to be so vindictive again. And this is an unmanageable person. He mistakes the power of the presidency for maximum dictatorship. And what does it not understand about president? You just preside. It doesn't mean that you are. It does not mean that no other person is significant in the calculus. In fact, the citizen, you're talking of the office of the citizen, which is the strongest influence in governance. You would disparage that, you would discountenance that, you would reject all notions of being accountable to electorate. That is not what I want. I don't want to live in that kind of place. Honestly, they should continue to do everything possible to turn out the voters. And at the end of the day, you will see that this guy would lose terribly, beyond woefully.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much for that. And hit the like button, everybody. Please help us hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications, join the conversation in the chat. Yes, even after the live show. We'll be right back right now. We'll be right back. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Bye.